Morning, Warriors. Warrior Man here. Ready to get started. August 15th, next day, and It Does Matter Life. Got a couple of ideas for you. Actually, the idea I had this morning came from, I took my girls down to some of the schooling, outside schooling that we do. Me and my wife do outside of the stuff that we do here at home, and heard something said a number of times, and it gave me an idea about what to talk about this morning. So anyway, today when the parents were dropping the kids off, I heard a lot of the parents tell the kids before, the parents and the kids are crying, telling their kids, don't forget who you are. And I tell my kids, don't forget what you are. That's the most important thing to remember. Don't forget what you are. And it sort of ties into, I had said last week in a video about that you have this really great tool, this special tool, your mind. All human beings have it. It makes you capable of learning anything, any place, anytime, anywhere. And that is the fundamental thing about what you are. If you never forget that you're a human being, then you're never going to feel like you're not capable of figuring out what to do in your life, because your mind makes you able of doing it throughout your whole life. I want to tell you a story. When I was in high school, I was a kid that was in the wrong place at the wrong time quite often, of course, just juvenile delinquent stuff. There wasn't anything serious to get into back then. But I stumbled into the weight room, and that changed my life. I've told that story, tell it better, more detail one day. But not long after I started putting some meat on my skinny little body, I figured, well, I was so amazed by that I had control. I was in control of that change, that I caused it myself. I figured I could change my life in other ways. I decided to make an appointment with high school guidance counselor midway through my junior year and see what I needed to do to bring things up to speed, to go to get further education. I was a smart kid. I was an intelligent kid. I just didn't put the effort into the studying. So I was a B, average B, low B student, just naturally. So I go in there, and about 45 seconds into me asking what I needed to do, that I was thinking about maybe going on to college. And she put her hand in front of my face about 5 or 6 inches and said, this is what you need to do. You need to put that silly stuff away. You need to put those silly daydreams away. And you need to put your application in at one of the factories around here for a summer job. Where I grew up, people either worked in factories or they farmed. I worked on farms during the summer. My parents worked in factories. Says do that, go do a really good job there, and then come back for your final year of school, graduate, and then your chances are really good you'll get a full-time job, because that's where they got their, their employees from the school, all the local consolidated schools, the rural school area. And I didn't know what to say, and of course, back then, kids didn't speak up to the school authorities and stuff like that. But I left there, and I thought to myself, how can she be able to predict what my future holds, what I should do in my life, that my future lied in just working a factory job like everybody else does. And I also thought this, and I'll never forget thinking it. I also thought to myself, nobody ever stopped me when I went to enter a classroom in all these 11 or 12 years that I've been in school so far. Nobody ever stopped me at the door before the first day of the class, whatever the subject was, and says, hold on a second, let's see if you're on the list of those human beings who are capable of learning. Nobody. And nobody stopped you. Our first 18 years of life, we learn all kinds of things at a rapid pace. Subjects that we wouldn't, as adults today, even no courage whatsoever, even pick up a book and start learning or reading the introduction to the book. But that never left me that I thought that way. And it always was there for me to utilize. My belief in that I was capable of learning anything. Nobody ever stopped me before when they put me in all these classes, both the elective ones that I chose. Nobody said, well, hold on a second, let's see if you're in the system as one of those people who's capable, one of those human beings who's capable. All human beings are capable of learning anything all the time. And what we have done to us the first 18 years of our life says that. It proves that. But for some reason, people, and a lot of you wrote me after I made the comment about that you have a mind, you're capable of learning everything. You wrote me like, okay, I get that, but I don't get that. How's that going to get me to where I want to go in my life? How's that going to get me out of the life I don't really like living now? How's that going to get me towards fulfilling my true life's passion, my true life's purpose, doing what I want to do, becoming my own boss, becoming independent, not depending on other people? How's that going to work? And it works the same way that it did for the first 18 years of your life. You do the learning. You take a breath. You slow down. You put the time and effort in. You pick up the books. I mean, I got a library of, I don't know how many thousands of books. I get my stuff from the writings and the understandings and the knowledge put forth by other people. And acquire that knowledge for myself and put it to use in my own life. When people write me, as they have over the years, and they say to me that, all you could have ever done was be a professional wrestler. Of course, by the time they get done chewing me out, they say, you can never wrestle anyway. So they want to have it both ways. But they say to me, there's nothing else you could have ever done. Not knowing or even knowing that I was pursuing a doctor of chiropractic degree, almost done with that. I wanted to be a professional bodybuilder, had set other goals in my life, had excelled at other part-time jobs or full-time jobs that I had, simply because I picked up the learning and found out the knowledge I needed to have to make it, to excel at the job that I was given an opportunity at. And you can do the same thing in your life. That's what you have to do. If your inner voice is speaking to you about wanting to do something and you don't have the knowledge, don't get paralyzed. And a lot of you are doing that out there. Like that time in your life where you were capable of learning is gone. That's bullshit. We come into this world, it's called blank slate. Your mind is a blank slate. It's called tabula rasa. And we have all this knowledge put on it. Nobody ever asks anything. Nobody has any doubts. Nobody has any uncertainties. Nobody has a lack of confidence that you can learn anything. The first 18 years of your life, first 22 years of your life, if you go to college, or more than that, if whatever you're going to do requires more education. Nobody stops you at any door and says, hold on a second, you're one of those that isn't capable. So why is it at this time in your life, in your mid-30s, your early 40s, your 50s, now you think that you can't learn anything anymore? That's the whole thing that I'm trying to stress to you. You're supposed to learn throughout your whole life. I mean, like the other day, Terry Bollea commented on what was going on with the riots over in the United Kingdom. I mean, his answer was that of a retarded teenager, not even your typical teenager. For somebody to have the kind of life experiences that he had and then answer that question about the serious nature of what was going over there is unacceptable. I mean, it's disgraceful. He should be ashamed. And anybody that had him on a radio program should have called him out on it instead of making fun along with him. So when I talk about doing the work, unless I'm specifically talking about getting into shape, getting your health and fitness back, I don't mean do the work of moving your body around. The first work you need to do to get to that ultimate goal of doing the work of what you want to be passionate about in your life, the first work to do is use your mind. Get out there. Start learning for yourself. To think and learn is to know. To know is to solve, and to solve is to become successful. I mean, people are going to say I'm being a smartass when I say this, but one of the best things you could own is a library card. If you have a library in your town, you should have a library card. I do. It's awesome. The library is like one of the most awesome places to go. I mean, to me, it's better than going to the movies or doing anything practically. Now, Disneyland, that trumps them all. But get a library card if you don't have money. Don't sit there and come up with excuses and reasons why you can't learn. That's bullshit. You're finding out about me. You're paying attention to what's going on with One Warrior Nation through the internet. The internet is the best learning resource we have if you will discipline yourself to learn on it and not just waste your time. Power in your life comes from using your mind. You know, a lot of people, especially young people, and I know why people get jacked up and energized and enthusiastic about the explosive physicality of Ultimate Warrior. But my success, even as that monster physical presence that I was, came from using my mind. My body became what it was, through hard work, an incredible sacrifice in the gym and the way I ate and stuff. But I knew what to do because I took the time to learn the knowledge I needed to have to make it happen. Power in your life doesn't come from your muscles. All you guys out there that want to build up your physiques and get big like Ultimate Warrior. Power in your life, even in that way, even in the gym, is going to come from using your mind. The most important thing to never forget is what you are. You are the rational animal. You are the rational animal, man. That makes you the most powerful being on this frickin' planet. Don't forget that. Man, doesn't matter. It matters today more than it did yesterday. And the day before and the day before. Because like I said in a comment I put up yesterday at Facebook, all the one days, they add up to many. And man, day after day after day into the many. Until you get to where you want to go and you're doing what you want to do. What you should be doing with your life. It does matter. Get out there and prove it to yourself.